Hello, Future Mish here from post-production of the second part of the Welcome to Expanding Art Space video. Welcome Wandering Creatives and welcome back to Expanding Art Space. I'm just making this quick intro video because if you haven't watched the first part, it might not make sense what you will see next. So go and do that. If not, and you feel comfortable just jumping in the middle of nowhere, go right ahead, get your art stuff ready, paint along while you hang out with me, and I'll chat about some more of my personal stories and growth through this artistic journey of mine, as well as sharing my process in the watercolor painting that I'm making in this video. Anything like me, and you are healing from being a perpetual people pleaser, or sometimes get into that old habit again, this is a reminder for you to come back to yourself, to your present self, and ask yourself, what are you afraid of? What do you feel that would be judged or scrutinized that is authentic about you? And know that it doesn't matter what other people think. There's no point in wasting time on people that judge you or criticize you. And it's important to be able to remember who you are and what your purpose is in life. And if you don't know what your purpose is in life, the easiest and best way to do that is to connect, to stay present, and to learn how to sit with yourself, even if you're uncomfortable, because the things that we don't like about ourselves, the things that we avoid, are often the things that give us those important answers. I hope this acts as a form of encouragement to you. Today I'm going to be creating a whimsical kind of painting. First I want to make a sketch. I usually do a sketch in pencil, but I feel like doing it in pen today. I feel like going off the rails and giving away that control that pencil has, because with pen you can't make any corrections as easily, but it is good practice, especially if you're like me, using a pen as a challenge. When we first start drawing, no matter what we create, usually doesn't look great, right? And I hope that by showing you my style, the sign of perfection was to have a realistic style, but that's not me, and that's okay. And I am not perfect. My drawings look funky, but whimsical. It's entertaining. And it took me a very, very long time to actually get to that stage where I could be okay with that. For a quick sketch, it's not necessary to have all the details. You can always correct it. But I promised I'll talk about my experiences a little bit. Expanding Art Space began about 10 years ago, before I even knew it was going to be a thing, before I even realized this. And it's actually thanks to my husband, who encouraged me to be this confident version that I am today. I was very afraid of people seeing my artwork. My husband suggested that I should start an Instagram account. And it was definitely something that I pondered and considered. It was very difficult for me to actually start one, because it was intimidating. It was very intimidating to see artists that had just perfect artwork posted every single day. It really bothered me. It bothered me because I was not at the same level as them. It made me feel insecure and uncomfortable. It was maddening. My rebellious streak got me thinking, what if I were to post?
I posted the good, the bad, and the ugly. I posted it all because I wanted to show a realistic timeline of my progress. And if you're curious, it's Alphonsinato. I'll link it in the description below. And yeah, it taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to overcome my fears with recreating my old artwork or trying to improve my old artwork by drawing on top of it. There could be happy accidents and it could become something new. It could become some kind of evolution of itself. And even if it wasn't that much better than it was before, at least it is something I tried. And that's the most important thing.
Because I wanted to show my progress, I wanted to be proud, I wanted to overcome my insecurities. And I was also afraid. I was a bit afraid that I would be judged and I'll have some pushback and told how horrible I am at art. And that actually never happened.
I also have some other stories from my childhood, early childhood, that I talked about on my social media that I'm thinking of actually posting here on YouTube some point soon as a compilation. And maybe some of you could relate to that. Just it's to show and give an example of what might seem insignificant and what we can easily forget as children that impacts us in a big way. I personally like to have a scrap kind of sketchbook or pieces of paper to make sure that I can test my watercolors before I use them. And that I have a shade that I like. So, I quite like this purple. I'm using a Siberian Squirrel Japanese brush. I need to fix the point of it, but it's very pretty. And I'm just going to give it a nice kind of purpley blue backwash over this picture. You can see that the paint isn't really running, and the reason the paint isn't running is because the pens are artist pens. You can buy them in any art store and they are called fine liner pens, so it doesn't really matter which brand you would get. I usually use Faber-Castells, or there's the Graph Master. So I have these two types. I can't decide which one is better, but Graph Master definitely lasts longer if that's what you're looking for.
As the video speeds up, I'll just talk a little bit about my early childhood experience with art. I have been drawing and painting for as long as I could remember, but I had a lot of pauses throughout the years due to very strict upbringing, and some of it does contribute to my cultural background. It was very no nonsense, very serious kind of experience. And whenever I had really big feelings, I would express myself with art. Of course, art is subjective, and if I did show this to anyone who I had these feelings expressed towards, for example, an argument or an upset, they would just look at it and be very puzzled. I strongly believe that art is a universal language and everyone can understand it no matter where they are from around the world. There will always be something that someone can relate to. And if not, it's a good guess at best.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I have added extra details and this is the end result. A little bit darker than expected, but watercolor usually dries lighter. I'm going to try to post once a month, if not twice a month, bi-weekly, and when I have more time I will be posting maybe once a week. If you would like to see more things, if you have any ideas that I can do and post, feel free to leave it in the comments and let me know. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Bye.